Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask Brad Crone and Patrick Sebastian. COVID-19 has obviously been the chief topic of conversation since March, but we've still got these 2020 elections come November. Now, we've got a little bit of time, but what are going to be the issues and how are candidates preparing to wage their campaigns right now? Brad?
Well, Tom, I think as we go into phase one on the slow reopening of the state, you're going to see more and more candidates at the state level, legislative level, and even at the local county level begin the process of ramping up communications via digital media platforms, as well as ramping up their efforts to fundraise. The COVID-19 has basically put a clamp down on fundraising efforts, and you're going to see the political community, your incumbents as well as your challengers, softly begin to come back out, communicate, and begin talking to voters and constituents and donors, asking for money and putting forward their ideas on how we move the state forward. I think a couple of issues that are going to dominate the landscape will, one, be the budget crisis that we're facing on revenue shortfalls and how we go through that, the education platforms, and what lessons have we learned? How can we be more efficient in the delivery of our education services in all systems, K through 12, community colleges, and a university system? I think those are going to be really right for communications. And then finally, the preparing for the second wave, if in the event we have one, is our healthcare delivery system adequately supplied and charged to handle a second crisis?
Patrick, I think there was some initial attempts by some of the candidates to continue to raise money online, at least, initially after the stay home. But I think a lot of them sort of backed away feeling like maybe that wasn't quite appropriate under these circumstances. But now they got to crank back up. What's your thinking on what's going to happen and what are going to be the issues?
Yeah, some of them have already started raising money. I saw an email from Josh Stein that he's raising money right now online. And, you know, the use of big data and digital advertising has exploded over the years, and good campaigns have already harnessed that information, have already harnessed the data and digital tools before COVID-19, but now it's going to be more useful than ever. People are going to be scared to go out of their homes through the November election, and as we've seen in the company I work for, the digital advertising or digital viewership has absolutely exploded. People are hungry for information, and they're online all the time, more than ever before.
Yeah. And
this is the perfect time to go and advertise to your constituents, to the voters,
your target,
about what you plan to do. But I will say it's going to be a matter of timing when it's appropriate to do it. I've had a client that he was advertising, and we cut it off, actually, because he's an incumbent in the legislature. We cut it off, did not think it was appropriate to be talking about other political issues. But now is the time, Tom, I have to tell you, if you're an incumbent from a political perspective, it's obviously a terrible time, but from a political perspective, it is a good time to be an incumbent because you can actually show the people of your constituents and the people of the state that you know how to lead and what you're doing. And the clients that I have that are incumbents are getting an enormous amount of attention and feedback based off what they're doing in the legislature or the local level to combat this virus. And the opponents that they have are just starving for attention. They can't get any airtime whatsoever.
They don't have the information that the incumbents have.
They don't have the information. And frankly, their challengers can do a lot of the times is just kind of, snipe a little bit, and people don't want to hear the sniping right now.
So what are going to be the specific issues? Brad talked about some. What do you think the issues are going to be?
The biggest one after the health, first of all, healthcare is number one. I think that's a given. But education is going to be the next one because we are in a sorely awful funding situation now with this. And you saw teachers did not get the raise that they wanted last year. They didn't get any raise. Well, we can pretty much guarantee you they're not going to get a raise this next year.
We said before the March primary, I'd like to get both of you to comment on this. We said before the March primary, the big issue in the 2020 election was going to be Donald Trump. Do you still think that's the case, Brad?
Oh, no, I think that's the case. And we've seen competitive polling here in the state that clearly mandates that North Carolina is a toss-up state.
Wow.
Some polls have Trump up, some polls have Biden up. We're going to be a battleground state. As I said earlier in the week, talking to Politico reporter, it's all going to come down to that independent, unaffiliated voter in the suburban counties, in the Charlotte television market, the Greensboro, Winston, High Point market, and the Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville market, Tom.
Yeah. Patrick, you agree that Trump's still going to be a big issue?
He's going to be a major issue, and we're going to see just how many ticket splitters we have in the state of North Carolina. These polls, it's really incredible to see. I have to tell you, Governor Cooper is up by between 10 and 27 points in some of these polls, and some of these same polls you have Donald Trump up by 3 or 4 points, and Tom Tillis either up by 3 or down by 3.
Right.
It's an incredible time right now, and it's. I guess back in 04 was the last time we had a Republican president win by 10 and a governor win by 10, the Democrat. We may be heading towards that kind of thing again.
And I am one who is saying I'm ready to get this healthcare crisis behind us, hopefully doing it well and safely. But I'm also ready to return to being able to talk about elections again. I know y'all are too.
Right.
Well, thanks for watching the After Spin. We're going to have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.